So moving on from the untimely demise of Coverfly, we got some more news this morning regarding the Blacklist and the Nichols Fellowship. And as someone who was top 50,
Yeah.
whoa, top 50 in the Nichols Fellows with Peaking to Paris,
Look where,
which which you're familiar with and used. Now, for everyone at home that's learning about this now, the Blacklist and the Nichols seem to have done a team up. They've done LeBron James style team up where they're building a super team. Where now, if you want to enter the Nichols, that if you're not in a film lab or at a prestigious university, if you're just like normal John who didn't go to film school and you want to enter the Nichols, you must register with the Blacklist. You must pay for a coverage, which I think is around $100, and host your screenplay on their site, which is $35 a month. So in order to do that, you will then be eligible to enter the Nichols, but you're not actually in the competition yet. The Blacklist readers, one reader as opposed to two when you entered.
Yeah.
So you had two reads on Peaking. Now it's one reader will read your screenplay after you pay the coverage analyses and the hosting fee. One reader will read your screenplay. If you make it into the top 25 of the Blacklist's picks, then you will enter the official Nichols competition. Did I get that right?
Yeah, I think so. It's to be honest, looking at the website, it's a little bit difficult to actually tell. There's kind of a lot of information on here. It's not presented super succinctly, frankly, and it's always been a little bit nebulous, I think, as well in terms of how many entrants there are and how many reads and this kind of thing. I wanted to touch briefly upon why the Nichols is so important. So the Nicholl Fellowship is produced and hosted by the Academy of Motion Arts, who do the Oscars, amongst many other wonderful and terrible things. But what's so great about it is that it's open to all kind of entry level screenwriters, so people who haven't made more than I think $25,000. It's quite prestigious. They've got a lot of very high standard of readers. So a lot of producers, a lot of Academy affiliates, actors, so forth. So
people who know story.
People who know, yes, exactly. They're not just people who saw a film and was like, oh, I can probably do this.
Because this was always the prestigious screenwriting competition, right? Nichols was always like the creme de la creme.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. So in lieu of all of the Coverfly stuff that we've seen happening, this feels like another another death knell, unfortunately, because basically what's happened here is 2 years ago I think they capped the entrance at about 6,000, so as to not put strain on all the Academy members who are so busy all the time.
Yep.
Not watching those Oscar movies.
Oh yeah, exactly. Watching all the international entries in the short films, all those things they have to do. But I think then last year it was maybe even, I could be wrong on the number, maybe 5,500. This year they're apparently taking 2,500 entrants through the Blacklist. Then there's some entrants from various prestigious film schools. Danny knows a little bit more about that than I do.
So it's 25,000, but out of that 25,000 from the Blacklist, only 25 go into.
Yeah.
Right. That's what I mean. If somebody at home or anyone that's what we're seeing as of now.
Yeah, this is breaking this morning as well. So there's we've still time to digest it and kind of hear the people who understand the minutiae a little bit more, perhaps expand on it. But it does seem like 25 people down from 6,000 entrants. You need to basically roll an 8 or higher and a score out of 10 on the Blacklist, which is usually pretty difficult. And my screenplay, sorry, I touched my mic. My screenplay, I'm not covering it. My screenplay, I'd never scored, I don't think, higher than a 7 on the Blacklist. So, but then I got into the top 50 on the Nichols. So you're rolling the dice on your Blacklist score, hoping that your solitary reader really likes what you've done. And if they don't, then that's it. No other readers are ever going to see it.
Yeah, that's what bothers me, I guess, the most from this news is that, one reader, man, if you just get the one that doesn't maybe genre-wise does not, vibe what you're writing. I mean, we with our coverage service here, we have a tier where you get 2 readers because again, we believe that you and I disagree all the time. He and I not so much. Pound it. But but it's you got to have more eyes on it, and that was the beauty of the Nichols was that you had 2 readers, and I think that's awesome. So to go to 1 reader now, and hoping that reader, likes your genre. I'm not trying to apologize for the screenplays that maybe are not as well written as the others. I'm talking about like if you write an action comedy that's maybe awesome and you get someone that's really not into that, especially comedy is so subjective, you're done. And this is the Nichols is the most prestigious in terms of, accolade and prestige in the business. It's probably number one. It's like what everyone loves so much and touts around, which is rightfully so because it did produce excellence for the last 25, 50 years.
If you place Well and Nicholl and you're an unproduced writer that is looking to break into the industry, you might get repped, right? The thing that's so horrific about this that you guys both just touched on is it's a lottery. If you enter any screenplay competition, it will always be a lottery. I am less so kind of grossed out and disappointed by the Blacklist submissions than I am the fact that it looks like, so the Blacklist is a partner that will get 25 submissions and every other partner gets 2. These partners are primarily AFI, MFA programs, very prestigious film labs from across the world.
I don't want to use the word elitist, but it feels like unless you're in that inner circle, only 25 people from the Blacklist enter. I just don't feel like it's fair.
So of all the official partners, most of which are California or New York based or large metropolitan based MFA programs that cost anywhere from
Good luck Ireland.
Yeah, good luck Ireland.
For a non-American, can you tell me what NBA and NFL and whatever it is?
It's essentially a master's of fine arts, and then there's a few film labs, there's a few bachelor programs. But the point is, these are expensive schools, and essentially the program directors will get to vet the scripts, which means if you are one of the 15 people at, let's say, the the CSUN MFA and screenwriting program, who your advisor is. You will ask them, what do I need to do? How can I change my script before the submission to have my best shot? No other person that's not at one of these programs will be able to do that with their reader.
This just seems like
it destroys all.
This has got Amazon, Whole Foods written all over it. I mean, this is going to take my once favorite organic shopping experience and just destroy it. I mean, no, not to be so glib, but it just feels, again, if you're a screenwriter, it just seems like the world just doesn't, care, or just muscling out those that are not in the circle.
It feels though, the strangle on the industry is getting a little tighter, and it sounds a little doom and gloom. Look, we're screenwriters. We're aware that the industry changes constantly. That's kind of how it strives. We understand that, and we roll with the punches. But at the same time, it does feel like this is less meritocracy based than it has been in the past.
Yep.
And if that's like the first thing to go, then everything else kind of crumbles. At least in terms of your reputation for me. I think as soon as the meritocracy goes out the window, I really care a lot less now.
Sure.
If I told someone a couple of years ago, semi-finalists in the Nichols, that might sound really cool, but now they might say, well, what school did you go to?
I never thought of that's actually very interesting. You're right. It's now going to be kind of that conversation. That's interesting. But what does, at the end of the day, you could win the Nichols, you can have a huge score on the Blacklist. You know what you don't get? A produced and financed movie.
They pretty much almost never really get produced.
And not to plug us, but that's what we do here at Kinolime. If in our competition, because it is a competition, if your movie, your screenplay gets voted at the very end, and it's a vote of we vote internally at Kinolime, you as the audience vote, we vote, you vote, but you guys get the final vote. If your screenplay gets voted on as the winner, we're going to make and produce your film, because we believe in giving everyone a chance. I mean, we don't have restrictions except that it must be in English, which is, I think, a pretty low bar, considering it's the language of the world.
The Blacklist doesn't even accept translated. It has to be originally written in English.
Well,
and go back through your draft history and make sure.
Yeah, exactly.
Again, there is, and to that point of why we do that, it's also just about development philosophy and what stories you're actually looking. Again, I'm looking at this list. We get submissions. We have people pitch us all the time. There is and again, I'm not trying to disparage people that go to great film schools. That's where most of the great filmmakers come from.
Yeah.
However, there is like unique perspective and voice you get from a writer that is not part of the LA Tisch apparatus that, again, has been pretty much like a lot of these people that are going to be in the blacklist that otherwise wouldn't because of their school. These are people that have essentially been, in a lot of ways, groomed for this their entire life, and now it got that much easier. Like, again, our first competition, all the screenplays we optioned were, you know, 2 of them were writers from out of the country, right? People's first screenplays, people that did not know where to take this story and believed in it. And when you read it, it is lightning in a bottle. It is a new perspective you do not get if you pigeonhole everyone into elite universities, or you probably don't know what you're talking about.
It kind of feels like golf. It's like you have to be groomed at a young age. You got to be still
like
in a
golf
club when you're 2, and then those are the pros. But no, I mean, like, you know, whatever it is, what it is. But
it's like
I'd love to know. Like, we went to go see Kevin Smith last night. He was, you know, having his 25th anniversary of Dogma, and he had a Q&A after. Did he go to film school?
I don't think so. I think his film school was Clerks and Mallrats.
That's my point. Kevin Smith today, like, if he wanted to enter one of his screenplays, if he was starting out, he couldn't even maybe enter. He could not, like, you can enter, but there's only 25 that are going to get picked in that competition.
And it would be ineligible because Clerks is 156 pages and the Blacklist is a 125-page cap.
Okay. So
a short cap. 125?
125 is very short.
What's what, 130, 135?
I don't
I think
know.
ours is 130, and that seems reasonable.
Yeah.
125 is...
But regardless, why we started Kinolime and what we're really trying to do is we love original voices. Now, it doesn't mean that we're against those that went to film school. These 2 people went to film school next to me. You loved film school. You went to
my favorite thing ever.
I didn't go to film school, so we're all friends. It's not about who or who not went to film school. It's just that we are opening up to everyone. Film school, no film school, whatever. If it's in English, you can submit. We will, and if it makes the cut, you're in the competition, and then it's up to the audience to vote, you know, you down the road. But I just love, I mean, one of the great joys of my job is when you guys say, hey, look at the screenplay, and I read it because we get 2 sets of eyes on it, and I'm like, oh man, like this just blew me away. Like, this is so cool. This is a person that didn't go to film school. I would love to know, out of our top 25 right now, 27, how many did go to film school? I'd love to know that number. Probably very small, because I think we look at all their backgrounds in when their resumes, when they submit their...
interview them?
Well, no, when they submit their work, there's like a little, you know, we know what their backgrounds are, you know. You got to fill out something. We know all about you, Meara.
No, looking into them, I was like...
No, but, you know, it's just the originality comes through, and it doesn't matter. So, I mean, it's interesting news. We'll see where this goes. But if you want to make an impact now, we're in the middle of our second competition, right? This is the voting stage. Read all 27 treatments. Read, vote. We'll give you cool incentives, like we'll get screenplay coverage if you read 12 treatments. We're gonna read your screenplay, probably these 2 guys and me, or a combination. We're gonna give you notes, we're gonna do a Zoom, it's gonna be awesome. But come to kinolime.com, read all 27 treatments, read, rate, and vote. And there's other incentives like equity tokens and all this fun stuff.
If you read all...
Criterion.
Yeah, if you read all of our treatments, which are just like 5 to 10 pages, we will gift you a year of Criterion.
Wait, now, so hold on. I saw some comments about the way we pronounce Criterion.
Yeah, you said
I say Criterion.
In the shadows. The Criterion.
Yeah.
So what is it, Criterion? It's
no,
Criterion.
Criterion, yeah.
It's a Criterion. Because I think last time I was saying Criterion, which is wrong. Criterion.
It sounds like a dinosaur, maybe.
It feels kind of potato.
But I think we were both saying it. Not something
I was saying Criterion. Yeah, you know what? It could have been like I was staring at the camera and
you're like, what do I
heard
do?
You say that.
What do I do?
Go back to the part where we said about golf. What do you guys mean? Under par?
Yeah.
Oh, he's a writer, folks.
It only took me 20 minutes.
He was waiting for that. But thank you so much. Go to kinolime.com, rate and vote the treatment phase. We're so excited. This is awesome. And if you don't make the top 25 in the blacklist, come to us. We're happy to have you.
Yeah. Or if you do make the top 25 and your movie doesn't get made,
come to us.
That'd
be great.
Yeah.
Thanks, everybody.